Good afternoon guys, and welcome to yet another vlog. I have been poorly recently, so this is my first chance to get back out. This place that we've come to today has significance. I'm not going to say too much about it here, we're just going to get on and do it. Adventures of Paul is with me as usual. Say hello, Paul. Hello, you never do these places by yourself because you could have an accident, you could fall down and no one's going to find you because it's so obsolete, although it is believed to be in use by a scout group, but what I've seen, it looks run down and derelict. So let's go and do this, guys. The things you do for a little bit of urbex. It's like walking through a deep swamp. This must be somewhere in the region of about 2 foot deep. We do have wellies on, but it's not pleasant nonetheless. Already looked up one abandoned place. It was abandoned years ago, but it's now been taken over by sheep, so not to disturb them, we'll leave that for maybe another day when they've moved on and the conditions are a little bit drier. But now we're going to head in this general area where we are and look for a Second World War Black Ops building. I'll say more about it when we find it. Plenty of old ruined barns just laying derelict, slowly rotting away with time. And yet another swamp to make our way through. Today we are in the, I'd say this is sort of central South Bedfordshire. This whole gate here gives off vibes of something out of a horror movie. Really, really weird. Why would there be something like this out here? What's it trying to keep out? Paul making his way through the mire over there. It's the most horrendous day of all. Mid-February, chucking it down with rain. Okay, we find ourselves adjacent to where this Black Ops building is, and this path used to be where the troops used to march up and down. There's no word of a lie. I believe it's actually got a blue plaque to it. We'll try and make our way through the grounds itself and get to the main building. It's certainly got some spooky vibes to it, that's for sure. But yeah, this has got as much history to it as what Bletchley Park has. They've both done slightly different things, and this was like a Black Ops radio station, giving false propaganda to the Nazis, giving them information that they would believe. There was prisoner war on site, as well as civilians all working in this station here to give out the information, to give the false pretense that the old axis of evil would fall foul of and help us win the war. These all would have been part of your military blocks, but since then taken over by a local scouting group, which I believe come here time and time again during the summer. You can see the old barbecues, and that there is your Black Ops building. That is where everything took place in its actual history. If you look closely, you can see a blue plaque which depicts exactly what we're saying. Something of significant World War II history that's just laying dormant. You can see the scouts have frequented it, used it as a climbing wall up the side there. This is the Ampthill and Woburn District's campsite. Whether or not they still use it, who knows? But it looks as if it's seen better days, that's for sure. Even the welcome sign there looks a bit run down. And here's your blue plaque. There you go, Milton Bryant Studios. operated by the Political Warfare Executive 1942 to 1945. So as a correspondent, Sefton Delmar from the Daily Express and a multinational team waged various means of highly effective black propaganda campaign against the Nazis. All took place from here. And the reason why there's bars on some of the windows is because prisoners of war were held on site. As I said, you can see the bars at the windows. That's where your POWs, German prisoners of war, were kept here in the 40s, and they were helping out with the propaganda. I say they were helping out, I'd say they were probably forced to. As someone was kind enough to leave the door wide open, it'd be rude not to have a look. So here you go, let's get the torch out. It is pretty dark down here. We're in the belly of it now. I said it was a prisoner of war Black Ops building. If I can show you any more clearly, that I will do. And this is obviously where your scouts have been using it as well. What they've been doing in here, I don't know. We have toilet facilities. It's got them vibes of Bletchley Park. A load of old batteries stored on the floor for obviously power. Looks like some sort of paperwork. Barclays Bank. Probably all the personal finances. Wow, this place goes on forever. This will be your banner. Stairwell, way up. Paul's already made his way up there. We'll catch up with him in a bit. Loads of old furniture stacked up. It's just got them cool vibes to it that I just enjoy. It's not in use, it's derelict. Here we go. You know, I said about the bars on the windows. That depicts that it was a prisoner of war. And these are cells. This is where they would have kept them. Wow. That there is a prison cell from the Second World War. Someone from the German forces would have been kept in here. That would have been their view. They'd probably put a call out so they could go and use the facilities next door. This is a bit modern, to be honest with you, but this is where they would have come in to probably use the toilet and then go back to the cell in between working and decoding and deciphering messages. All this comes from a very long time ago. It's a fascinating find. It's just the fact that I see the blue plaque, that's what drew my attention. Without that, I would have just simply passed us by. All this old cabling. Predates anything we've got nowadays. Looks like a lot of asbestos as well. I suppose it's just the material they used back in the day. Tons and tons of storage facilities. Be interesting to see if you can find an old relic. Looks a lot of webbing there. So looks like stacks and stacks of old doors. And these all would have been the doors that would have been on site. Oh my God. My first dead animal on site. What is that? I'm guessing it's a rat. Jesus, what a state. He's certainly seen better days. This would have been your original entrance. Guessing this would have been some sort of office area back in the day, where people would have probably reported before coming in. Oh, we have some old tools, stuff just lying around. Bags and bags of cement and chemicals and all sorts, really. Kind of wonder whether they are Second World War, done by those held captive here. Got a step ladder and chair and other bits and pieces. There's loads of little cubby holes everywhere. That's more modern electrics. So this has been done at a later date. Having a swap around now. Paul's made his way to the lower level and I'm going to make my way up to the first floor. Shouldn't so much need the torch up here. One thing for sure, guys, this place certainly feels derelict. Whether the scout group uses it at all, who knows. They may play war games in here. There's your climbing wall to the outside, to the left out there, I believe. Such high ceilings. I guess they could have been playing war games or all sorts. They look like pub bar stalls. A cabinet here. Old and nothing in it. But no surprise, to be honest with you. This place has probably been stripped of any treasure that it probably held of any significance. This must be kind of what people who have gone into the derelict part of Bletchley Park must have found. Kitchen sink. What's this? Someone stripped out the power. And these are like chalkboards. You know, the sort of thing, your rolling board you'd have at schools. Probably all for educational purposes. Old filing cabinet. Okay guys, I found my second dead find in a day. That is a deceased bat. What happened to that poor sod? Just sitting here, very delicate, slowly rotting away. The old original electrics from back in the day, burnt out, stripped out. Loads of your halogen bulbs as well. Do have an old fireplace on site, the old scuttle and brush, etc. That is a seriously old remote control. What this was, I don't know. Some sort of games room, possibly. Could be anything, to be honest with you. We do have some old maps. So they are. You're going to have to forgive the torch. I've got to do a lot better than this in the future, to be honest with you. Old maps of Bedfordshire. They look pretty fragile. Falling apart. Interesting. Dare say someone at some point will probably come in and take them as a souvenir. Looking up significant dates, that's the Milton Keynes Citizen from 2004, so that's 20 years ago. Right, so get back down to the bells and get our way out of here. Not that it's really worth looking because it's been well and truly sealed up, but what Paul is standing adjacent to, which is where this pond area is here, that is an old tunnel system that leads to an entrance somewhere around the back of Paris House. The idea of that was if we was invaded, the then King and Queen of England would have been evacuated to here and made their way to Paris House through the undergrowth. You simply wouldn't believe it unless you was shown it. That is, it's like a mine shaft, to be honest with you guys. It's all blocked off there. How badly it blocked off it is, and that is your way. It's a tunnel that leads to Paris House. Well guys, all in all, a pretty damn good explore. I did not expect to find out so much history about this spot. Luckily enough, a local was walking a dog around the perimeter as we arrived. He explained some of the things, especially the network of tunnels which lead up to Paris House from here, which I had a vague feeling there might have been something like that here, reading up on the history of it. But for him to actually turn around and say, no, it's actually true, you can see it, it's in clear daylight, which it was, so thank you to him for that. The Explorer itself, great that when you turn up to one of these places and the door is left ajar, you can just make your way in, you go in, you record what you see, you get out, you don't leave a mess, you don't take anything. That's what this is all about. And it was significant because it's a Black Ops building from the Second World War. It has that vibe of Bletchley Park about it. I think there's another 2 or 3. Hounslow Park was like one of your gadget places for MI6, you know, like James Bond type things where they made all the little bits and pieces. This bit here was a Black Ops radio place, and obviously the computer centre, the breaking of the Enigma on the Colossus, etc. was at Bletchley Park. So all that combining in this area helped us to win the Second World War. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. You get a chance to look over at Paul's site. He was here with me again today, like he always is. We never come to these places alone, just in case you have an accident. And it's been a real pleasure to bring it to you. I've been feeling rough, but I'm kind of past it now. So With that, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you in the movies. Bye for now.